So here we talk a little bit about how our definition of mental health has changed over time and of mental illness has changed over time. Look a little bit at some diagnoses of patients. And then we're looking at how did people think that the mentally ill should be cared for? What should happen to them? How should they be either cared for at home, which happened certainly a lot, still does, or if they should be cared for at a hospital, a separate purpose-built institution. So certainly before the mid-19th century, there were a lot of different places where you would find the mentally ill. Many were in jails or almshouses, places for the poor who didn't have anywhere else to go. And a reformer at the time, Dorothea Dix, in the mid-19th century, visited several hundred of these types of places all around the country. And in fact, she traveled the world and saw the really terrible, wretched conditions of people who were not being treated well. And it really touched her. She made that. And she was a Sunday school teacher. She taught, she's a Christian teacher, and she really believed that empathy instead of hardship was really the way to treat people. And she also firmly believed that it was the role of the government, specifically the government, and not just private organizations, to help treat people. And really devoted her life to changing the situation for the mentally ill. And one of the places that she wanted to really make a difference in terms of how the mentally ill were treated was here in Washington, D.C. So she came to D.C. and she worked with the Secretary of the Interior. She talked to the President of the United States, and she also worked with Thomas Kirkbride. He was a doctor, a physician who worked with the mentally ill, who had a lot of very specific ideas about what type of architecture, what type of asylum architecture could actually cure the patients. She worked with him, and she identified the land. And if you come over here, you can see this is the land that she found, and that's the photo over here of the farm, the original farm that was at the site. And Dix convinced the farm owner, it was Thomas Blagden and his wife, to sell the land to the federal government, which they did in 1852, and that's where they cited the hospital. We call it now St. Elizabeth's. Originally, it was called the Government Hospital for the Insane.